Hello, I'm meteorologist Ted Keller. Let's take a look at weather to watch, not just for today, but for the next several days, and in fact, for about the next 2 weeks. Let's see what's going on. We will start with the visible satellite loop here on this Saturday afternoon, showing a lot of fair weather across the country for the most part. We do have some active weather beginning to develop in this part of the world here. We have another front coming down across the northern plains here. And if we look at the 500 millibar flow, it's just kind of a gradual west-northwest to east-southeast flow, kind of a broad trough aloft out to the east. This is just basically, this pattern here is just supplying a series of cool fronts, basically. And that's going to break down, as you'll see here in a minute. And we're about to get this ridge, which is now parked over the southwest, to gradually begin over to take over the central U.S., but it's going to take all of this week and even into the week following to get that accomplished. If we just take a look at the hazards across the country at Saturday in the afternoon here, we've got three things that really kind of catch your eye. We've got this and then these two areas here and here. I do want to mention that's a heat advisory for the central valleys of California. But if we take closer looks at some of these, this is a severe thunderstorm watch for western Oklahoma, parts of northwest Texas. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing as I record this. Also up around northern Ohio, northeast Ohio, parts of Pennsylvania, including Erie, and up to Buffalo, another severe thunderstorm watch. Right now, only a severe thunderstorm warning right around the Cleveland area and upshore. A few marine hazard advisories going on there too. And then in the northern U.S., these are freeze warnings up here and frost advisories in the lighter blue, which include much of the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and even going into Michigan. So let's take a look at the weather map as it will appear on Sunday, tomorrow. Again, we have the temperatures here are the colors. So just look at the scale here. So you look at the green colors here are 50s. Maybe even a few 40s where you see the darker color. These are high temperatures expected on Sunday. Kind of a moderate condition here in the central plains, 70s. Pretty hot in the southwest, as you can see. The valley areas south of Fresno, that's where the heat advisory is in effect. And temperatures that will be in the 90s and the 100s in the southwestern U.S. and in the 90s in southern Florida as well. If we take a look at the precipitation pattern that goes with that, again, this when you see the drops like this is not solid precipitation. This tends to be, though. This is more of a solid rain area, whereas this is more scattered showers and storms. And keep in mind, this goes through Sunday into Sunday evening as well. A lot of that activity will be occurring later in the day. And then if we look at the severe storm situation right off the bat for Sunday, you do see this area right here, which I can zoom in for you. And there is a level 3 out of 5 a severe thunderstorm risk. San Angelo, Abilene, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Waco, all those areas under that highest risk, but a pretty large area too under what is called that slight risk, the level 2, that goes all the way into southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, even as far east as Jackson, Mississippi, and does include additional cities in Texas like San Antonio and Wichita Falls as an example. If we go and turn the page to Monday, we have a low pressure system in South Dakota that includes, and much of the central U.S. is beginning to warm up now. You see warmer colors there, whereas the cooler air is still hanging on in Minnesota and into the northeastern U.S., kind of a washed out front in the southeast here, and that is leading to precipitation on Monday in connection with that front there. North of the warm front in the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, some rain, more solid rain as you saw up in parts of the northeast, New York and Washington, D.C. on that list. And in terms of severe weather, there's really only a marginal risk along this kind of stalled out front in the southeast, and that's it. These are just general thunderstorm areas here in the lighter green. What kind of rain is going to be left by this thunderstorm area in the southeast? Pretty good rains, as it turns out. In fact, the best rain almost on the map here, as you see in the southeast here, a little bit around Long Island in New England, maybe an inch and a half there. But if we zoom in on the southeastern U.S., we see some of the rain totals. If it's a darker red like this, it's over 2 inches. So south of Georgia, around Tallahassee, and back over to just north of Pensacola is where some of the heaviest rain, again, accumulated over the next 3 days will be. And as you saw, there's a parade of cool fronts that's leading to cool temperatures, frost and freeze advisories for Tuesday morning in all these areas here, and for Tuesday and Wednesday morning through parts of Maine, northern Vermont, and New Hampshire. Lows, as agreed upon by all the Weather Service offices, will be If you see it's blue, it's below freezing in this northern part of the lower peninsula of Michigan and through much of the UP of Michigan as well. And that would also apply to much, scattered areas in the Northeast as well. New York State, particularly chilly, but parts of Maine and New England as well. And then going and turning that same logic to Wednesday, just about as cool. And so frost and freezing, as you saw on that map, certainly a possibility up there for 2 mornings in a row. On the heat side, that heat you saw south of Fresno begins to build on Tuesday. Looking out for the possibility of excessive heat there in parts of southwest Arizona and a small chunk of southern California as high temperatures there on Tuesday. Phoenix is expected to be about 103, 104 degrees or so, and 100-degree temperatures are widespread, including Vegas at 103 degrees. If we look 2 weeks out here, we're going to see a pattern of the ridge now shifting eastward. So this begins on the 18th. And more troughing developing in the west. That is going to lead to, you would think, more severe weather in the Great Plains, but it's going to be limited because this ridge is holding fast, so it's going to shunt a lot of the moisture and instability more up into this area more than in the central plains. And if we look at that, you'll see the temperature anomalies are going to be warm beginning the week of the 18th of May, and the precipitation rates start to go up in this area too. So that has led to this slight risk of heavy rain chances through this area from southern Iowa straight down to the Gulf Coast. And temperatures will be on the hot side at least around the May 17th through 18th period as that ridge begins to develop. So you can back that up from the Ohio River straight through Missouri and Arkansas and all the way down to Texas, including much of Kansas and Oklahoma. And on the severe weather front, again, it's showing up for this period as being in Central Plains and also Oklahoma and Texas. But I can tell you after that, it begins to back up more along the Front Range. Thanks for watching this edition of Weather to Watch. It comes out every other day, or as the weather necessitates. Please remember to share this with your friends, subscribe to the channel, or at the very least, like what you just watched. Thanks.